All right, we are here today with Mr. Barry Donovan, founder of Visness Card, professional photographer. How are you doing today, Mr. Barry?
Outstanding. Living the
Outstanding.
dream. Living the dream.
Living the dream. Well, you just sold a house and all of that, so you are living the dream, right?
Weight's off my shoulders. If you're looking to sell your house, my advice is don't. Okay?
Well, yeah. If you don't, you got to figure out what else you're going to do.
True, but the process this time around just was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's over with and we're moving forward. So
That's right. Back to work,
Yep.
the easy stuff, right?
Yep,
Well, Barry, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and your expertise.
Okay, so my background, I have about 30 plus years in marketing field, a little, and about 5 or 10 in the sales area. But the last 10 years, I've gone out on my own and I've been a professional photographer. And I've also dabbled in a few different business ventures over the last 30 years. And I'm looking for that one that's going to take off.
Yeah.
And I think I found it. I've been working on the digital business card, the business card, for about a year and a half now, kind of toying with it. But the last 6 months, we've got serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I'm curious, what kicked off your professional photography, going out on your own? That's always an interesting topic for business owners.
Yeah, I was just tired of working for somebody else.
Yeah.
I had put away enough money to hold me for 6 months, and I just took the plunge. I was doing photographs for friends and family, doing senior photos, those types of things, and people kept saying, you need to charge, you need to charge. Well, yeah, I hear 10 years later, I hear everybody saying that to other photographers.
Right.
And my word of advice is, if you love photography, don't become a professional photographer unless you are a business person.
Interesting.
Because it's 20% photography,
Right.
80% business and marketing.
Right.
And that's the toughest thing for people to understand.
Well, I think that's true about any business anyone
Right.
opens up. They always think, oh, I make the best lasagna in town. I'm going to open a restaurant.
Right.
Very different procedures, operations, everything else.
Absolutely.
So, insightful comment there.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about digital business cards. Why do you think that's finally going to be the thing that one works in your personal ventures, but why does anyone care about the digital business card? Why should I care?
Do you carry a cell phone?
It's pretty much attached to my hip.
Right. Have you ever been to a meeting without your business cards?
Only on accident one time.
Then you're the exception to the rule. Okay? Everybody carries their phone.
Yeah.
People always forget their business cards. That's one reason.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll always have it with you because it sits on your phone.
Right.
We're in a digital world. Everything is mobile. Web browsing is like, I saw a stat the other day, 54% of people are browsing on their phone.
Yeah.
Over their laptop or whatever other device they're using,
Right.
their standalone computer. So we're used to using our mobile phone. So as a business person, why wouldn't you want a microsite? Because that's what a digital business card is.
Okay.
It's a microsite. It's a mini website that sits on the home screen that somebody could tap a button and have all your information, be able to tap a link and contact you, call you, share your card. So it's a digital age.
Right.
I'm not saying the printed business card is going to go away. I use printed cards as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I print how to get my digital card on my printed card.
Right.
And actually, we have one guy that uses our digital card. He's been using it for about a year and a half. He's on over 1,000 devices.
Wow. So how do you know he's on 1,000 devices?
The back-end reporting tells us how many unique devices the card has been shared to and is loaded to. And then we also can tell that it's been viewed over 3,500 times.
Oh, wow.
How does he do it? He uses a printed card. He prints his logo, text Jeff to the number,
Right.
and that's how he does it.
Wow. That's impressive.
1,000 devices.
Then he actually knows that the card's being looked at and interacted with, whereas otherwise you just hand out business cards. You don't know if they're going in the dumpster or not.
So that's obviously a benefit. Another benefit, I'm just thinking of Jeff's, because I just updated his card the other day, is they're simple to update.
Right.
You've got an address change, you've got a phone number change, your title changes, you want to add a link to an upcoming event or something like that. You fill out a quick setup change order form,
Right.
we update it for the people. Everybody, all those 1,000 people have the updated card
Right.
instantaneously.
Right.
Can't do that with a printed card.
No.
So those are a couple of things that why I think people should consider having a digital business card.
Right. So what took you down the path of actually wanting to see this value and actually promote it yourself?
Well, I was working in my lab late one night. Right? Actually, I was doing marketing for a client, and they were going to a trade show, and they kept putting off their brochures that we needed to have printed. They couldn't decide what they wanted,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, "Look, you got 2 days, and then you're out of luck."
Right.
Well, that evening I went home and I was working on a photo album for a client, and it dawned on me, hey, I could do the same thing for the company, just make it a digital version of a business card.
Right.
And so I did that. They took it to the trade show. They shared it with people just by hitting the share button and texting it to them. And they came back and they were all excited going, this was amazing. So I thought, okay, fine. I just let it sit. And a few weeks later, I thought, why don't I make myself one? I
Right.
did. I started sharing it. And then people started asking me, how do I get one of these? So I started making them for them. And, here we are.
Right. There you go. Well, necessity of need.
Yep.
Once you've got a product that people are asking for and you didn't even think about, those tend to be pretty good products in the
Right.
long term.
Right.
So when you go down that path, how do you decide, you know what, today's the day I want to move to a digital business card?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a process? What should I be considering if, you know what, maybe my business is ready for it, or no, maybe I'm not ready for it?
Well, I'm a little biased. I think everybody should have one. But if you're in the service profession, you're in constantly going to meetings and networking events and those types of things. You're a sales professional, a plumber, a massage therapist, HVAC person, somebody who is constantly in contact with clients. You should have a digital card.
Right.
Why? Well, because when you share it with that person and then their neighbor goes, hey, who did you use for your plumbing?
Right.
Oh, hold on, I have it right here on my phone. I'll share it to you. Boom. It's done.
Right.
Not his card. I think it threw his card out, or
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's going to be on your phone. It's not going away. So anybody that's in the sales profession or wants to kind of separate themselves from the crowd
Right.
and be a little bit different, because there is a wow factor to a digital card. Now, not all digital cards are the same.
Okay. So how are they not all the same? What are the different ones? How many different ones are there out there?
I kind of go from template based, where you as a consumer go to this website and you upload your photograph, you upload your logo, they give you a color palette, you pick some colors, you type in your contact information and hit a button, and then in the background they create automatically this card for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of looks like a regular business card.
Gotcha.
There's different versions, but that's the template based. Then there is the custom design, and that's the area where we fall in, because I saw there was no custom design company doing custom design. When I say custom design, we actually design the card in Photoshop.
Interesting.
Or InDesign, depending on what we're doing.
What kind of designs are you putting in there? Do you take their standard business card and then you just do something different?
Great question. What we do is we want to make sure we're consistent with your brand. So we'll go to the website, we'll look at the branding elements on the website. If we have a physical card, we'll look at the branding elements on the card. We'll match the colors. Obviously, people spend a lot of time and effort determining their brand and their colors.
Right.
So we got to get it right. So we pull the colors from their website. We might pull some images from their website that are signature images. And then we design the card using those elements.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So then, what's that look like from a implementation procedure? Is there a phone call? Is it just online change order forms? If I'm interacting with you and I want to make a tweak or something, how much of that ability do I have?
In the beginning, you fill out a setup form, which asks for your basic information: who you are, your title, your address, your email address, website, if you have social media accounts that you use. And this is key, okay?
That you use.
because I've seen people list their social media accounts, and you go to them and they've been dormant for 2 years.
Right.
That's not a good first impression.
Right.
Okay. So we ask for your social media accounts, but we also go check them. And if it's been dead for 2 years, we're going to push back and say, do you really want to put your Facebook account on there, or your Twitter, or whatever the case may be? Because it's going to clutter up the card. And our design principle is keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
So that's important. I forgot where we're going with this.
just the engagement. So it sounds like some of that's actually a pretty consultative process to say, don't have too much of this or too much of that. So is there a phone call that takes place as well, or an in-person consultation?
There can be. If somebody fills out the setup form and we go through it and we did it, we know what they do, we can just knock out that card. Gotcha. Now there's going to be back and forth. The first draft, what do you think? And we take a shot at their copy as well if they're not copywriters.
Right.
There's 3 things we ask. And you got to convey this in any situation, whether it's in a one-on-one networking function or when somebody lands on your web page. I got to know in 5 seconds, what do you do? What benefit do I get from working with you or your product?
Right.
How the heck do I get a hold of you?
Right.
So those are the 3 things we want to convey with the digital card.
Right.
So we ask people to tell us that. We can go to their website and surmise that as well.
Right.
So we do that. There's really no set way. If we need help, we'll reach out to them.
Right.
With a call or an email and that sort of thing.
So you can be as involved or not as you want as a business owner. Here, just take it and just give me what I need. I need it immediately, or let's really invest some time in this and make it, like you said, in 5 seconds, get those 3 points, and very complementary to your entire marketing campaign, your website, your logo, everything else.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit. We touched about the social media and content. You have done marketing in the past and all of that. One of the things that you hear from a lot of people is, well, I don't want to post on my social media because nobody's looking at it anyways. But then the counterpiece is, you don't want anyone to see it because you're not posting to it. So I'm curious with the business card and everything else, do you actually encourage people to go through and update those channels and then do that, or do you just throw that in on the backside later if they get to that point? What type of information are you including, I guess, up front to try to engage in visitors? Do you coach them about that at all?
Not really. If they don't have the capacity to be consistent on their social media channels, they're better off not using them. That's my personal opinion.
Right.
Because, like I said earlier, if your blog is 4 months old, not a very good impression.
Right.
Will we help them in that particular area? We'll help them to the point that, look, if you want us to put your Twitter feed, link to your Twitter feed on your card, then start posting. Right? Keep it updated. We can always pull that link off and put it on later.
Gotcha.
Many people will just fill out and not even list their social media.
Gotcha.
And then knowing that when they're ready, they just fill out a change order form. They send us the link to their social media account. We upload we change the card, put their link on there with a little Facebook icon, and they're done. It's done. So there's not a lot of pressure to have all of it up front. Do we prefer that? Absolutely, because then we don't have to go back and forth. But our whole approach is custom designed, great customer service. We don't want a cookie cutter. We want it to represent you and make a great first impression. And if it takes a little more time, so be it.
So what kind of information, let's say I have a garbage social media history,
Right.
what other information do you put on there? Is it just a typical business card? Is there any other thoughts or anything I could do to work up? Maybe right now I know my social media is garbage, so I'm not ready to go the digital route.
Right.
What else could I be doing to get ready for that path?
Well, if you have videos, you can include videos. You could also, to get ready to that, start a blog, right?
Correct.
Right. Do what we're doing here, a podcast or a vlog.
Right.
Hire an intern to follow you around, right?
Right, exactly.
Gary V, right?
Right.
I'm not Gary V. I don't have an intern, but I know somebody who just hired one. So.
Right.
Yeah, I would encourage people, and again, it depends on the business you're in, right? If you're a tradesman, you're not in the business of posting content,
Right.
Unless it's like do-it-yourself videos,
Right.
which I think would be awesome for a plumber or electrician. Simple fixes. That's great value add.
Right.
That's what people are looking for.
Well, people go to YouTube now to say, how do I fix my sink?
Exactly.
You could be that person.
Right. I did that the other day for a little problem before I moved.
Right, exactly.
So,
the whole selling the house issues.
Yeah. And nowadays, if you have an iPhone or an Android, whatever the case, a cell phone, you have a camera and a video camera.
And a pretty good camera.
And people get caught up in this. It's got to be, Hollywood production quality. No. People don't care. They want. What's your message, right? What's
Right.
the content? Are you providing me value? Awesome. Next time I have a plumbing issue or whatever, I'll probably think of you.
Right.
Right.
Or at least refer, hey, that person, I watched them on YouTube, you should check out their video. It'll show you how to do
Right.
this. And now there's the referral piece and all of that.
Right.
So with a digital business card, tell me, what are some of the best practices that you see somebody implement with it? Is it looking at their views? Is there benefit in that? Do you actually get any return contact information when somebody views that, or is there any way to
No.
further engage? Okay.
Not right now. The current version of our card doesn't provide a back end
Gotcha.
for clients to dig deeper.
Gotcha.
The next iteration we're working on, we're considering some of that.
Gotcha.
We've thought about it, and there's two schools of thought. Some people are going to just get so immersed into the back end, that's not the business they're in.
Right.
They're going to lose focus and get caught up in the shiny object over here, and that's not good.
Right.
So that school of thought says we're going to keep it at a minimum.
Gotcha.
Like you can log in and see how many cards, how many phones or devices
Right.
I'm on this month, or history, and how many times it's been viewed. If we're not an app, so I don't know a lot about software development, but I know enough to know that if we go the app route, we can provide them with all sorts of data and information. But again, our philosophy is to keep it simple. Here's my card. Here's my business. Doesn't this look great?
Right.
And wow, simple to share, easy to update, clean, doesn't have a clutter of 1,000 icons on it for different apps and that sort of thing. And share the damn thing. That's the key.
That's the point. Right.
Share the damn thing. So, and in that vein, we send an email, a text message to every cardholder once a week. And it's just a reminder. Have you shared your card today? Share it on social media. Share it in person.
Right.
And then once a month, we send a newsletter out to the cardholders. And we include every quarter their stats. So we give them a little bit of that statistical stuff, but we haven't had a lot of requests for that type of information.
Gotcha.
Our best users don't even care about it.
Yeah.
As long as once in a while they see that, oh, I have 300, I'm on 300 devices. Well, that's cool.
Right.
And some of them go, well, next quarter I'm going to be on 600.
Right.
Right.
Always be growing, always
Right.
expanding.
Right.
Use it as a motivational tool to keep you going. Right. it's interesting because you can go out to Vistaprint. You can for $9.99 the first time you can get 500 business cards or whatever. And so for $10 you got a bunch of business cards plus your shipping, which doubles the cost, right?
Exactly.
But then something like a digital business card, it's scalable. You're not just buying 500. You're going to get as much value out of it as you're passing out, you're handing out.
Right.
What's a good practice as a business owner though? Is it just hand it out as a regular business card at that same time? Give them, hey, I'll also text it to you. You had mentioned one of the customers uses it actually on their business card as, hey, go here and you can get my digital as well. Have you heard of other unique ways of people implementing this with their customers or to get their message out there, websites, etc.?
Obviously, first thing that comes to mind is add a link to it on your signature of your email.
Yeah.
Okay. Two, if you subscribe to a text-to service, include that in the signature line of your email. Like text vcard to 77948.
Right.
You'll get a text back to hit the link and load my business card to your phone.
Right.
The really cool thing now is that a lot of people don't know this, but if you have an iPhone, your camera has a built-in QR reader.
Right.
QR codes really didn't take off.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the reason they didn't take off is where's the damn reader?
Right.
I got to download another reader
app.
And that sort of thing. With the iPhone, it's changed the way people share our cards because we add a QR code to the bottom of the card. So now when you're in a networking event and you go, Aaron, do you have an iPhone? Or do you have a QR reader on your Android device?
Right.
Yes. I open my card, I scroll up, there's the QR code. You just point your you don't take a picture, you just point your camera at it.
Just instantly, right.
And a link pops up, you tap it, it loads the card.
That's awesome.
You're done.
Yeah.
So
now you're putting it on all your banners at your convention,
absolutely.
Everything, your literature, your brochures. Now they can get the print straight to their digital platform. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Apple. Right.
Right.
I don't think the Android devices will ever have that totally because there's different manufacturers that manufacture the cameras and the software, right? Apple controls it all, so that's simple for them, right?
Right. They tie it all into their platform, and it goes with their easy-to-use design and all of that. It's just simple. It just works.
And that's kind of the model that we take.
Right.
We want it simple and it works. That's it.
It's still, I love the fact that you have the data of who's all looking at. I can see how that could demoralize someone, but if you take the mindset of, great, now let's grow that. Great, now let's push that out. As you continue down the path, I'm sure there's just so many uses you can use for that. Even from a salesperson perspective, if you're a business owner, okay, who's getting their business card out there the most? That could be another analytic for you as a sales manager to say who's actually out there hitting the pavement.
Right.
Who's pushing our digital forum and all of that piece.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've run into people that won't pay a commission if the salesperson didn't share their digital card.
Really?
The person, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That's an extreme.
But yeah, absolutely.
That's the way they do it.
Yeah. So do you see, I mean, obviously you're biased to it, but digital business cards, are they going to do to business cards what the internet's done to the fax machine, or what do you think that's going to look like down the road?
I don't think so. People still are tactile.
Yeah.
They want to feel, they want to touch. What we see is about a 50%. You don't have to order as many printed cards. That's all.
Right.
And if you're smart and you, like I said earlier, you have a text-to service or you print your QR code on the back of your card, then you don't even have to take your phone out.
Right.
You just go here, point your camera at this, boom, loads.
Right. They've got it.
There's also one company will print a business card with a chip in it that if you touch your phone to it, it will pop up the link for your card. You just tap it.
Gotcha.
That's a little bit more involved.
Right. A little pricier.
But there's ways. The QR is the simplest way to do it.
Right.
And then the other way is texting.
Right.
So if you're in a meeting, and you asked me earlier, how would you share your card? QR code or text it to the person. that's standing next to you.
Right.
And then make sure they load that onto their phone.
Gotcha.
While you're standing there.
But, this just occurred to me. There's a selling idea. Actually, I think it's Grant Cardone. They push this. When you're doing a cold call or a sales call along those lines, you always want to get engagement back and forth with your customer. And one way they do that and also get more information so they can follow up is while I'm on the phone with you, I might say, hey, I want to get some information over you right away. Can I get your cell phone number? With a digital business card, you could actually turn that a little bit more and say, hey, let me send you my information directly as a digital business card. Can I get your cell phone number? I'll text that to you right now. Then you get an interaction. Even though you're however far away because you're making a phone call, they immediately are getting that from you. In your side, you get their cell phone number if you're using that for any marketing reason or not. The other piece to it is if they're willing to give you that kind of information, you're starting to build a relationship of trust, right? So it can help progress your sales, and you're getting your information immediately. I assume as well, since it's basically a website, you said you could probably embed your Twitter feed or something if you wanted to. Maybe that's too much content on a small screen.
Yeah.
Link to your other brochures and all of that. Now they immediately have that access. They could even pull it up while you're on the phone with them doing a cold call or just a regular introduction. Here, let me text that over to you. As we're sitting here, we can talk. You can pull up on your cell phone. Yep. That's powerful use for it.
If you can link to it, we can put it on the digital card. We can put a link to it. We have mortgage brokers who we link to a mortgage calculator, right? We have realtors who link to tips on buying and selling a home. So you don't clutter up the card with all those tips.
Right.
You link to it.
Right.
You already have that content out there. Why repurpose it?
Right.
Plus, again, people's attention spans. You don't want to overwhelm them with all this information in one place. So link to it. It's a great tool. It's not. I struggle even driving over here. I was thinking, that it's a digital business card, but really it's a marketing tool.
Right.
And is there another word or something that you could apply to it that would really explain all the benefits?
Right. I mean, it's more powerful than just a digital business card.
Oh yeah,
that's snazzy and cool.
Right.
It stands out a little bit, but it is, like you said, there's so many other opportunities.
Right.
I'm sure viewers could come up with all kinds of different opportunities. And if anybody's listening or has feedback, please send us those comments. It'd be great to see what other ideas there are as the community's everyone listening to this is trying to grow and impact their business. So.
Oh, absolutely. We're always looking for feedback. Had one the other day. You have the ability to tap a link and it will automatically load your contact information onto that person's contacts.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Traditional address book.
Right.
And this one gentleman said, boy, I wish that was on the first screen because you have to scroll up.
Gotcha.
And then it's the first link there. And just add my contact information to your address book. It's there.
Right.
But he was saying, I wish there was a right at the top, right in your face. So we're looking at ways to incorporate that.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I know I struggle sometimes. I'll leave a meeting with business cards and then I've got my little scanner app on my phone and half the time it works, half the time it doesn't. It just immediately did that with a click. That'd be fantastic. Yeah. So, well, I'm shocked. We're already well past where usually I'd end this. We're at 29 minutes already. Oh, this has been a heck of a conversation. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Do you have any last minute thoughts or contact information as well for people to reach out to you?
Sure. As I mentioned earlier, if you text VCARD, so VCARD to 77948, you'll get my digital business card for the business card business.
It's awesome.
And then our website is visnesscard.com, VISNESS card.com. We have a blog, just do /blog or /podcast for our podcast. And our podcast is called First Impression Warrior.
Awesome.
It's available on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, those types of things.
Big ones. Gotcha.
Yeah. So
awesome. That's fantastic. Well, we will share that in the show notes as well, so people can look that up and find that as well. Definitely think the business card, the text that and see what the product even looks like, right?
Right.
Be a great way to enhance the learning opportunity that came out of this conversation.
And one other thing, two other things. One is for your listeners, if they mention that they heard this podcast or vlog or video or whatever we're doing, right? I'll knock $10 off the setup fee.
Fantastic.
So it's just a thank you for listening.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is we also have a ebook that I wrote on best practices for digital business cards.
That's awesome.
And it tells you what to look for when considering a digital business card. And it doesn't say, oh, use our business digital card. It says this is what's available. These are the things to look for. So maybe we can include that link in the show notes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a huge value. So awesome. Well, we will do all of that. Barry, this was fantastic. We'll definitely have to do some more conversations around marketing in general and pull on all your other experience in photography and everything else too. I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate being here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. And thanks, listeners. Take care.